Kanawjit Singh Bakshi.
I move the question be now
I'm
put.
going to hear from Poto Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much for the ability to take this call. I want to refer to some of the matters that other members have raised, particularly around the development contributions and what that does in terms of supplying us with those social facilities, those community facilities, which we very much need. And it speaks very much to the heart of my colleague Sir William Seal's supplementary order paper, where he talks about basically restoring to the Local Government Act the 4 wellbeings which were removed at some point earlier. And the 4 wellbeings, or the notion that local government actually has a responsibility to its community around supporting the social and community functions, looking after the well-being, and more than just looking after removing waste or providing water or collecting rates, but actually looking at what the heart of the community needs in order to thrive. And I would say that local government actually is the place where the community can have that voice, and it should have that voice. Local boards, local community boards, local councils actually have a better idea of what's required for their communities than we do here necessarily sitting in Parliament. So I would recommend and suggest that my other colleagues look at that supplementary order paper and consider it that to be a very useful addition to this amendment bill. But I want to talk specifically about clause 16, section 56, a matter that's very appropriate to Christchurch and the Canterbury MPs, and it's the consultation process that's currently being initiated by the Christchurch City Council regarding the housing accord. And the housing accord looks to the development of affordable and social housing options in our city. It's a great initiative. Goodness knows we need more housing at affordable rates for our people, particularly those on low incomes. But and I'm sure that getting more stock into the mix will actually be of benefit. But what I want to talk about is this particular process, which of course this Local Government Act talks about the processes of consultation. What I want to raise in this matter is something that the Minister for Housing talked about yesterday at the estimates meeting that we had in the Select Committee. He made it very clear that access to temporary housing was high on his agenda, particularly for those people who are now entering the phase of rebuild or repair for their homes. And part of the housing accord that he cited, there were 3 initiatives, including those on the Awatea and Wells Street sites, which were intended for temporary relocation of our population, and then at some point in the future they would go on to be sold as affordable housing. However, he did not, when I questioned him, know when the developments would be completed and therefore be available for people to occupy. And it misses the point for me if the Minister, who claims to be sympathetic to the development of temporary accommodation for our population, actually doesn't know when this accommodation will be developed and when it will be ready for people to move into. This also contradicts the statement, his statement yesterday, but it stacks up alongside the cuts to the appropriation for temporary accommodation. There is a specific service in Canterbury called CTAS, which has had its appropriation cut by 2/3. It's obvious that the need is now, and it will be around for some years to come, but in order to inject that affordability and availability back into the Christchurch housing market, you need the supply right now. In reference to the bill, to this bill in particular, clauses subpart 1A, particularly clause 48J, looking at the decision-making responsibilities of the governing body. Also want to speak to 76AA 93A, which speak to the consultation process. And I refer to an earlier comment I made. It's very pertinent, as currently there's a proposal in the public consultation process initiated by the Christchurch City Council to consider a social housing option which sets up a separate entity to manage the social housing facility that currently resides with the council. Much of our social housing property was damaged, and I know that the council is still waiting for the insurance payers. Mr Chairman, Mr Chairman, Mr Chairman.
Tēnā koe, Mr Chair, tēnā tātou katoa. Mr Chair, I'm happy to take a call on this bill, and my take, Mr Chair, is it's one of those